Yo, what is up, guys? We did it, man. We got the 1K subscribers. That is amazing. I can't even fathom. Like, that's such a large number to me. I never would have thought possible I even got here. But even like just the other day, I asked if you guys could help me out, and you guys pulled through majors. So you guys are the real MVPs. Holy crap, man. Anyways, I'll probably do something more special regarding that in the future, but we're going to get into the content that you subscribed for. So, we're going to talk about an update coming out on Monday that is Bakriminel Bolt. So, let's get right into it. Alright, so yeah guys, we're going to be talking about the Bakriminel Bolts update that's actually be coming on Monday. So very short amount of time we have to wait before that actually ends up in a live game. So let's jump right into it. Basically, Bakriminel Bolts are currently tier 80 to equip the bolts, and they actually output tier 75 damage. The neat thing with this update, when you add any bolt tip to the Bakriminel Bolts, they're actually going to buff by 10 levels. It'll then be tier 90 to wield and tier 85 damage. On top of that, when you enchant the bolts, it'll go up even another 10 levels, so they will require tier 99 to wield and tier 95 damage. Now, those of you who may know, that damage is really just scaled by your main hand weapon, so currently the best crossbow you can use with this is Ascension crossbows, so the damage will be nerfed down to 90. However, this is a little bit of future-proofing on Jagex' part, so when the Solak tier 92 crossbows come out, then the damage will be buffed up to tier 92, up until eventually they, in the far future, probably come out with a tier 95 weapon, to which then you get the full effect of these bolts. But they're going to be best in slot bolts for an extremely long time. So with that out of the way, we're going to actually talk about each bolt and what it does in terms of their special effects. So basically, all Bakriminel bolts, no matter what is tipped on them, is going to have the same exact stats. So, at least in that regard, you don't have to decide which one is more. You just have to look at the special effects of each one and then decide which ones you want to use. Now, I want to get into each bolt and exactly what each special does, but before we get into that, important to note that if you have completed the Sears Village task set, you'll have a 2% additional chance to proc all of these special attacks. All of these specials we're going to be talking about can be continuously procced except for the ruby bolts, which do have a cooldown, so keep that in mind. Also, all the bolts we talk about are going to be compatible with the quiver, so you can add them to your Duranwin quiver like you would any other ammo. Alright, getting into the specials. Opal. The effect is Lucky Lightning. It gives a 5% chance to perform 10% more damage. Sapphire. The effect is Clear Mind. 5% chance to steal 5% of your maximum prayer from your opponent. Now at level 99, it's going to be giving you 49.5 prayer points per proc. In PvP, your opponent will lose 5%, but it also still works with PvM, just gives you that 5% flat out. Jade. The effect is Earth's Fury. 5% chance to stun opponents for 4.8 seconds. Only binds in PvP. Reason why they only added the bind for PvP is because Jade is extremely cheap, and that would be an extremely cheap bind, so it's for balancing issues mainly. Next up we got Pearl. The special effect is Sea Curse. 5% chance to perform 15% more damage to enemies weak to water, but it performs 15% less damage on enemies weak to fire. In PvP situations, it turns off your opponent's run. Emerald. Special effect, Magic Poison. 55% chance to poison your enemy for 4% of weapon damage. Now this is going to be a relatively low or weak weapon poison, so ideally you would want to use your normal weapon poisons that you already use for normal combat. But it does have a 55% chance to proc, so it is a very high probability of poisoning your target. Useful for things like Corporal Beast, stunning the core. Next up, Red Topaz. Special effect, Down to Earth. 5% chance to reduce opponent's magic level by 2 and damage by 1%. Caps at 10 levels and 5% damage. Ruby. Special effect, Blood Forfeit. 5% chance to hit your opponent for 20% of their max life points. This will scale down as the NPC loses health. Also, it will hit yourself for 10% of your life points. It caps at 10k damage, 12k for criticals, and has a 6-second cooldown. In PvP situations, it has a 3k cap for damage. Diamond. Special effect, armor piercing. 5% chance to hit a 100% accuracy and deals up to 15% more damage. Dragonstone. Dragon's breath. 5% chance to hit your opponent a second time for 25% of your current attack as Dragonfire. Dragons and those under Dragonfire protection are immune. Onyx. Special effect, Leech Life. 10% chance to heal up to 25% of damage potential, capping at 2.5k and dealing 25% more damage. For Onyxes specifically, if the special effect procs, you will lose that bolt. And finally, Hydrix. Special effect, Death Mark. 10% chance to instantly provide 10% adrenaline and an additional 1% adrenaline for basic abilities for the next 15 seconds. This will stack with the Impatient perk from Invention and will reset the timer if it happens to proc again within that 15 seconds while you're gaining extra adrenaline from your basics. Anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Everything you really need to know about the update for Bakriminel bolts coming out next Monday. So not long at all before we're going to get our hands on these things. I'm really excited. Can't wait to test them out. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Peace.